you have a podcast and you're thinking, okay, like how can I expand beyond this podcast? How can I make it more successful? Or how can I get more eyeballs on my podcast? And it's very simple to gravitate towards YouTube. And what I mean by that is just going out there and promoting your podcast on YouTube. But there's a couple of different ways they're going to want to go about it. So the first mistake that I see most people do is they have a podcast and they just put the audio version up there on YouTube. I mean, who I go to YouTube because I want to watch something. I don't want to listen to something unless maybe there's a playlist or some sort of music that I want to listen to. I'm not going there just to listen to a podcast, and you're probably not going to get a lot of people checking it out. So that's the first mistake that I find people do. The second mistake that I find that people make is they just take the full video version of the podcast and they put it up there on their YouTube channel, which is perfectly fine, but there's no editing aspect of it. It's just the full interview that's put up there. So what I recommend is when you're going out there and starting your YouTube channel, especially if you have a podcast, you want to make sure that the interviews that you do, whether it's a guest, whether it's just on your own, that the content that you produce makes it feel as if you're just watching a YouTube video. So this is going to involve more editing than just typically editing your podcast. You're going to be editing, maybe you add in stock footage, maybe you add in some animation and some graphics. You add a nice intro, outro video that's very specific for YouTube and not just for your podcast that's going live on iTunes per se. So there's that aspect of it. Then you want to take your YouTube, you can create YouTube shorts from it, from your interview, and promote them on your YouTube channel. And I believe a short right now, as of this video, is 60 seconds and under. So maybe you pull a couple of clips that are 60 seconds and under from your interview. This is on top of having the full interview on your channel. And then outside of that, you maybe select, let's say it's a 30-minute interview, you select 3 or 4 clips that are 5 or 6 minutes each talking about a specific topic, and you take those clips and then again you add some stock footage, you add some graphics, some animations, a nice outro, a nice intro video to that YouTube video, then you promote it out there. So now you have this one 30-minute interview. Yes, you have the full 30-minute interview. You have that edited. Then you have your videos where they're 4 to 5 minutes long. You have edited so people can just go and get a bite-sized chunk of the podcast. And then you have your YouTube shorts, which are very bite-sized chunk of the podcast that you did, and you make it feel as if it's an actual YouTube channel, and it's not just these videos that are out there. Because I find that too many people just take their podcast and they slap it up on their YouTube channel and are wondering why they don't see any success with it. Well, you have to, YouTube and iTunes, they're different mediums. And you have to treat each medium in a separate way. You have to treat your YouTube channel as if you're growing that YouTube channel versus if you're growing your podcast, you have to treat it as if you're growing your podcast. So it's two different avenues. And I find just too many people think, I'm just going to put my interview up on YouTube and then that's going to be a success. It's like, no, like it's going to take more time than that. So I hope that was helpful. And that's what I would recommend if you're thinking, okay, I want to start a podcast, but I also want to have a YouTube channel. Those are the exact steps that I would take and what I would recommend.